There are orgasms and there are tantric orgasms, which is to say there are different types of orgasms, and that knowing a bit of tantra can really help you have better, bigger, more expansive ones. My name is Helena Nista and I am a sex therapist and a tantra practitioner, and I love sharing online my knowledge and my expertise about having great sex and mind-blowing orgasms. So first of all, let's clarify what typically majority of population understands as orgasms. It is basically a climax, a moment when a buildup of sexual energy is released. It takes about a few seconds, and it usually comes together with these contractions of the pelvic floor muscles. It feels very pleasurable. There's a kind of high intensity to it. There's almost like a sharpness to it. It is an explosion. There's build-up, there's tension, we're holding, we're touching, we're rubbing, we're kind of almost efforting to get to that peak experience where suddenly that energy and all that tension and all that pressure is suddenly released, and that feels really beautiful and satisfying, hopefully, for most people. These kind of orgasms usually make us feel really, really nice and really, really good. They usually bring about this really deep sense of relaxation after, they usually help us sleep better, and they also have other benefits for our health and our well-being. And while these are perfectly lovely, perfectly satisfying kinds of orgasms, they're not the only ones. So for all those people who want to look beyond the standard normal orgasm, there are the tantric orgasms, which is not even to say that there is one normal mainstream way of understanding orgasm and then there's another type of orgasm, which is the tantric orgasm. That's not even how it actually really works, because once you go beyond that normal explosive sharp kind of quick orgasm, what you do is you enter a whole realm of different types of orgasms. There's like a whole scale of experiences that take you beyond that normal sharp explosive kind of orgasm, and that's when you enter the world of very different and varied orgasmic experiences and orgasmic states. And this is definitely what happened to me. For the first maybe 10 or so years of my sex life, I was only aware of the normal genitally based orgasm, that sharp explosive one. And when I started learning about tantra, when I discovered that there is such a thing as tantra and there is tantric sex and there are tantric orgasms, it all felt truly amazing, but almost hard to believe that you could experience, full body orgasms, that you could breathe yourself to orgasms, that you could have energetic orgasms, that your orgasms could originate from your heart, from your chest, or from anywhere really in your body. They didn't have to be focused and concentrated in your genitals only. So when I started my tantric practice, when I started not only learning about tantra but also incorporating everything I was learning into my bedroom experiences, solo and with my lovers, the first thing I noticed were these kind of ripples, and vibrations and these kind of subtle movements of energy, of erotic energy, moving away from my genital area and up and down through my body. That's where I entered the first kind of realm of tantric orgasms, where these vibrations and ripples started to move through my body. After a while, these ripples started to become more profound, more strong. It was almost like the energy was kind of shooting, up my spine, through my body, and expand in ways that felt extremely blissful and ecstatic. It was no longer just a genital release, it was no longer just a tension of erotic charge being released almost, externally in that kind of explosion of a climax. Here I was entering the territory where that energy was actually shooting internally through my body, and because it wasn't being released and let go of in any way. It just kept going and it kept expanding, taking me into this really blissful and amazing full-bodied states of orgasming and ecstatic pleasure. And that already was blowing my mind. How come this was possible when I never knew about that before? Nobody was letting me know that this was even possible. And here suddenly, when I learned about Tantra and I started to incorporate it into my own sex life, these new things and experiences started to happen to me. But that wasn't even the end. There was still a lot more to come. Like I said, it is a whole scale. There's so many different things that can happen to you and to your being, to your body and to your system when you enter this realm of tantric orgasms. And I particularly love the orgasms that actually feel like I'm completely blissing out. And it feels very still, and they can go on for such a long time. That's another thing about those tantric orgasms. It's not just a few seconds of a release. They can go on for not only seconds, but minutes or even longer. You can actually make love to your partner when being in that orgasmic state. Because that erotic energy isn't being released externally, it is actually moving internally through your system. That's why you can stay in that orgasmic state and you can keep flowing with it and moving with it while having sex with your sweetheart. But I think that my absolutely favorite one, like my ultimate kind of orgasm, is the one that feels incredibly still, like being in the eye of the storm, like you're in complete stillness and peace, but there is all this kind of thrilling and exciting energy and charge happening all around you. It's an incredibly fulfilling and satisfying and nurturing experience. It's like nothing needs to happen. You don't have to do anything. You're just being in it. You're just using these breathing techniques to keep that energy going, and you're just allowing yourself to completely bliss out in that orgasmic state. And I do need to make a distinction here between ejaculation and orgasm, because I'm not talking about ejaculation here. Ejaculation is what it is. You can't prolong it, you can't change it. It's a release of your semen, and that's not gonna change. Like ejaculation, it just is what it is. But orgasm is something that happens right before you ejaculate. So this is obviously a bit of a talk for men here, for my male audience. So when you climax, first you orgasm, and that's that release of pleasure, of that erotic energy in your body, and then right after that you ejaculate. And you can even separate these two experiences and have these orgasms and these tantric orgasms without the ejaculation. So if you want to keep going, you can just focus on having orgasms and to keep them going and going and going. And I find it so important, so empowering for for people to talk about these experiences and these kind of tantric expanded orgasms, because if you have no idea they're possible, you'll never have them. Knowledge is key, awareness is key, and having the right tools and the right practices to achieve it all is so important. It's almost like you need to expand your understanding of orgasms and what orgasms are and can be, so that your actual experience of orgasms can expand, so that you can reach and enjoy these tantric experiences and tantric orgasms. And if you'd like to learn more about what tantric sex is and how to have it with your sweetheart tonight, make sure to watch this video next.